Furnace used to forge hard steel into 5 metal rings. And these are the bodies of the young athletes who have toiled long and hard on the road to gymnastics' perfect 10. Wasn't it 13 years ago when a boy wonder from Indiana State dominated and transformed gymnastics in the U.S. with a flair for the sport in which he was king? Why now, at 35 years old, has Kurt Thomas returned to attempt an outrageous comeback? Pounding his body into shape, trying to rekindle the Olympic flame, he was denied. And now in a sport with athletes using 18-year-old bodies. UCLA's Chainey Umphrey, one of the most powerful athletes in the sport today. Patrick Kirksey, at 23, a battle-weary veteran looking for his first medal today. Chris Waller on a one-man crusade to prove that the US of A can compete as a world power. Also today, the women are back looking for more gold in the individual event competition. Two-time national champion Kim Zmeskal, 2 years in a row, proving she's the woman to beat. Her teammate, 13-year-old Carrie Strug, the youngest competitor in the meet, already with a bronze medal in the all-around championship. Today, NBC Sports presents Olympic Showcase on the road to Barcelona, Spain. The U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Today, from the Shoemaker Center on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, we bring you the men's all-around competition in the 1991 U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Hi, everybody. I'm John Tesh, and welcome back to our continuing coverage. Now, this is not your average national championships. There's more at stake here. As you know, in a little more than a year, the Olympic Games 1992 are coming up in Barcelona, Spain, and it really is high time that we got a chance to get a look at who's going to be representing us, the United States, in Barcelona Games. Add to that the fact that this particular event is going to decide our world team for the World Championships this fall. Only 6 places available, so it's going to be, to say the least, a mad scramble among the men out here today. Joining me with expert commentary is a gentleman that I used to cover many years ago when we were both a bit younger, Tim Daggett, 1984 Olympic gold medalist. Tim, another story here, a guy who's been in all the papers and really threatens to overshadow this event itself, and that's Kurt Thomas, 35 years old, looking for a comeback.
Well, that's right. This will be Kurt's first major test in his quest for Olympic gold. You know, Mark Spitz won 7 Olympic gold medals in 1972. Kurt Thomas has never won an Olympic gold medal. His games would have been 1980 in Moscow. At this point, he finds himself way back from the top.
We're also talking about some youngsters out here who could very easily knock off Thomas that are about half his age.
Some of the key competitors are Chris Waller. He really is a medical miracle in the making. About 7 years ago, he had his aorta replaced with Teflon one, and it's a miracle he's even walking, never mind winning the U.S. Nationals. Another key story, however, is Trent Dimas. Many thought that he would be the major guy in the 1992 Olympic Games. He's our American Cup champion, but he finds himself way in back of the leaders at this point.
Yeah, and when we talked to Trent, he told us that he needed a really good finisher, otherwise he'd lose his funding and might even to quit the sport.
And that is critical because about 2 years ago, Trent decided to leave the NCAA program. He's in a private situation right now, and he needs these 92 funds to sustain his training in Barcelona. So Dimas and others trying to catapult themselves onto the world team, and for more on that, here's Michal.
What we're talking about here is money. More money than these athletes have ever seen. It's only been since 1988 that gymnasts have been allowed to compete for a paycheck. And certainly they look forward to events like this, where there is a lot of money on the line. For instance, the new champion will receive $18,500. Second place finisher will earn $16,500, and on down to 6th place, where there is still an impressive $12,500 paycheck. Now, obviously, this isn't a lot of money when you compare it to other sports, but for gymnasts, it's everything. Without it, they can't train full-time, and without that 100% focus, their Olympic dreams have little chance of becoming a reality.
Thank you, Randy. Here's a look at the standings after 2 rotations. Chris Waller right up top, very close to the top 4 men. Kurt Thomas in 22nd place. He's having a tough time hanging on. Here is Chris Waller, 22 years old, from Evanston, Illinois. And he is getting ready for the vaults. Very explosive event.
Now, Chris is going to win the all-around title today. He's got to be great on all the events. This is not his specialty. He needs a good one here. A great vault for Chris Waller. A little bit of bent knees in the air, but the best I've seen him ever do.
Congratulations for him there from Art Sherlock, his coach.
And, you know, he made a major mistake at the American Cup on this vault. No mistakes here, just slight bent knees in the air. But the best I've seen him do. This is the most critical part right there. An excellent landing, just a small hop back.
All right, our leader waiting for 9.65, so respectable. Not a terrific score, though.
But definitely what Chris needed to get him started in this competition.
Fourth place entering this rotation, Chainey Umphrey. Here's a guy whose mom wanted him to be a ballet dancer, so he took it for 4 years and then quit because the ballet teacher thought he had too much energy, and he is explosive.
Watch the power here. Oh, a great vault, but a huge hop back on the landing. And as we mentioned, Chris Waller, not a strong vaulter. This is a strong event for Chainey Umphrey. However, not a great start for him. A good vault, but you got to land without taking this big hop, of course.
Chainey's grandfather was an All-American in 2 sports, and his brother is a freshman gymnast at UCLA. 9.45, the low score.
Yeah, that is not the start that Chainey was looking for at all on one of his better events.
All right, we take you over to the parallel bars now. Here is 23-year-old Patrick Kirksey, the tallest male on the national team at 5'10". That can be a hindrance on things like the floor exercise, but it looks terrific on this particular event.
It certainly does. The long lines make things look a little bit better, especially on events like parallel bars and high bar.
Kirksey has never won a medal in the national championships. He was the all-around NCAA champion in 1989.
Now watch this skill done in sequence. It's rated as a D value for most difficult. No errors in this routine at all. This guy never knocks your socks off, but he is so steady. Double pike here, and a big step on the landing. That's going to hurt him.
Cannot afford any mistakes with Waller in the lead. Kirksey since. As we take a look at the replay from above.
From this view, you can see just how critical the balance and timing are on these one-arm skills. They're called Healy twirls. And remember, when done in succession like this, are D-rated for most difficult. He capitalized on that here. But we see later on in his routine, on his dismount right here, the double pike, he gives some tenths away with this big step back.
Kirksey waiting for his score from the 6 judges, the high and the low thrown out. A 9.50, a disappointing score for a man trying to go after Chris Waller. Kurt Thomas, of course, trying to make that comeback. He's trying to do it from 22nd place. Here in Cincinnati, Tom Schlesinger, third entering this rotation, ready for his parallel bars routine.
This is one of Tom's stronger routines, having an excellent competition here. Many people thought Tom was over the hill, but really fighting some of those critics.
A very bright gentleman has been accepted to the University of Colorado Medical School and has asked to be deferred until 1992 so he can train and compete in the Barcelona Games.
He gives absolutely nothing away. I'd say he keeps his rhythm better than anybody on this event.
The door is really open for him, too, since Patrick Kirksey's performance on this same event.
Beautiful back toss to a handstand. 2 in a row. So elegant. And a double pike. And a big step forward also. What a great routine.
So it will be interesting to see how the judges score that. A step from Kirksey and then one from Schlesinger. And here's a replay again from our high camera.
Beautiful back double pike somersault here. Just a little bit of a miscalculation on the landing and has to take that step forward.
Score for Schlesinger, a 9.50. So problems for everybody so far on the parallel bars. We told you earlier about 20-year-old Trent Dimas from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Currently 11th, trying to finish in the top 6 so he can make the World Championship team. He wants a good finish here, too, so he can pick up some money to continue to train. Ready for the vaults.
This is a big event for Trent. He does a Yurchenko-style vault like the women. Oh, his steps are way off. Oh boy, his steps were totally off there. I don't even know if his feet hit the board. And obviously,
that's his girlfriend on the right, Shauna Hicks. It looks like he may have hit his head on the floor.
Well, his hands did not even touch the vaulting horse.
He tried to get up there for a moment, and they won't let him get up, and they've checked out his neck.
Hurt your neck? Okay, down here?
Now watch, you see his steps are off there. He punches off of the safety mat and
right on his head. He didn't even touch the horse with his hands, it looked like.
To let him vault again.
Oh, I don't believe it. He's asking if they'll let him vault again.
Well, the only way they would allow that, John, is if he was distracted in some way.
His girlfriend obviously still has no idea whether he's okay. She's being blocked by all the people attending to Trent. Well, he's getting up. Trent Dimas, after that awful fall on the vault, appears to be okay.
Don't trip, okay? Handle it, Trent. Concentrate. You can handle it.
What is his coach talking about?
John, I'll bet he's going to vault again.
We're going to see if we can get another vault.
Now watch, his steps are off. He misses the board totally. And then in the air, his hands touch absolutely nothing. Thank God he decides to do a half turn, or that could have been even much worse.
I don't need to say that again. That looks awful. Now, the word that we're getting from the floor from our reporter Randy Hall is that there was a distraction, perhaps a flash from the crowd, and the judges are conferring on that.
We take that.
The consensus here was he was distracted by something.
Yes.
Jack Beckner, the head judge here, will have the final decision along with Mike Milidanis.
So it appears Dimas, if he wants it, Lord knows why he would, is going to get a chance to vault again. Put yourself in this position, Tim Daggett.
Well, to be perfectly honest, it's not a position that I would like to put myself in at all. I don't even know if I want to watch this here, John.
Trent Dimas has decided to vault again.
Beyond the physical problems, what about the mental? What's he thinking about? Holy!
He nailed it. He nailed it, and the crowd loves it. I don't believe it.
Inside the crowd, smoking off people.
Trent Dimas, coming off of a vaulting accident that could well have killed him, picks himself up and makes a stupendous recovery. Look at his hand. Oh, wow. Look at the score. 9.8 for Dimas. What an amazing story. With Trent Dimas vault, let's go down to Randy Hall with Trent.
Will you be able to continue the competition?
Yes, I will continue. So, I have to go on. I have no choice. This is the meet. I can't quit now. After that vault, I can't quit.
Will you stop shaking? Will you get over it?
Yeah, I got a couple minutes to relax. I'll relax, kick back, and just hit the rest of the events.
Great question. Will you stop shaking? I don't think I will for some time. Here's Chainey Umphrey, fourth entering this rotation, getting ready for his parallel bars routine. He is studying kinesiology at UCLA, and if you needed him to, he could name every bone and muscle in your body. A lot of bright athletes out here today.
Well, he's going to use all of those bones and certainly all of those muscles. Watch this skill right here. A major release, a new trend, double back. Done very well. Small break right there, the bend of the arms. That'll cost him a 10th. Chainey ran into major problems on this event last year at the national championship. Took himself out of the running.
Boy, he is strong.
He manhandles this event. Double back and a small hop back.
So Chainey Umphrey, a gentleman who tells us to relax before a meet. He shoots Nerf basketball in his room, which he takes along with him. He tells us that on the day of a meet, if he hits his first hook shot, he knows it's going to be a great day, and he hit it today.
Well, he certainly hit it right here. Watch this. The only person in the country to do this skill. It's a giant to a double flyaway. Throws those arms out to the side. But as it always goes, he makes the big skill, and look right here, bends the arms on a simple swing to a handstand. That'll cost him a couple tenths.
Score of 9.65. That's the highest score thus far on parallel bars. It's still not a great one. Gives you some idea of what's been happening out of that. Currently in second place, here's Patrick Kirksey. You saw him earlier on the parallel bars. He's getting set for my favorite event, the high bar.
And although this is an exciting event, this is not what you would call Patrick's best event. Has upgraded some of his difficulty. But what we look for here are high flying release skills. Nice stalter swings like that. He'll show us his first one right here. Reverse hecht with legs together. And he'll do another one for us. You know, we said it on the parallel bars that Patrick really never knocks your socks off. But as you can see here, no visible errors. He'll do a double layout with a full twist for his dismount. And a great landing. No deductions.
So a good routine for Kirksey on the high bar as we take a look at it in the replay.
His release skill going over the bar, called a Tkachev, named after a great Soviet gymnast. He does the first one with his legs together. You're required to do 2 of them in this competition for the men. The second one, to be a little bit different, he straddles his legs on.
9-6-0 for Kirksey. He is still in second place, trying to chase down our leader, Chris Waller. There's Kurt Thomas. His attempted comeback's been in the headlines all week. He, of course, has been in the papers before. 1976. America celebrates her bicentennial. Patty Hearst dominates the headlines. Gerald Ford says goodbye to the White House. Jimmy Carter says hello. And a 20-year-old gymnast named Kurt Thomas competes for the U.S. in the 21st Olympic Games. He finishes in 21st place. Lance Ringnald, one of America's top gymnasts, was 6 years old then. So was Trent Dimas. They both idolized Thomas. It changed their lives.
I always saw Kurt Thomas on top of the world, you know, hitting routines, doing his very best. I always saw posters of him. As a matter of fact, my first gymnastics book was Kurt Thomas' book of gymnastics. And when I was young, I used to look through it and say, oh, wow, you know, that's who I want to be like.
Thomas was a role model, the inspiration for an entire generation of new gymnasts. In 1978, he won a world championship, the first American to do so in 46 years. He was a national hero.
Would you welcome, please, Kurt Thomas. I know that you train practically a day, hours and hours. Can you keep that kind of training up if you wanted to go in the Olympics 4 years from now?
Well, it'd be hard for me because there's a new era of gymnastics coming in.
I love gymnastics. I love gymnastics. So I'm Superman.
Remember, Kurt told Johnny that 4 years was too long of a layout to come back from? Well, now after 11 years, he's trying to do just that. It's not easy. Thomas is 35 years old. So is his body.
Feeling good today.
The comeback trail is littered with bone chips surgically removed from his ankle, a torn rotator cuff, and countless other nicks and pains.
And relax. And push. Good, relax.
In 1978, I became the first gymnast in 46 years to win a gold medal in world competition. And I did step up on there. And there was a Soviet to my left and a Japanese to my right. And I was on the top and my flag was raised. And I sang the national anthem. And I remember that. And I know what that's like. And I want that to happen again.
Thomas is just the latest member of the comeback club. George Herman's was a success. Mark Spitz, not really. Now, Thomas.
I don't know really what's going on in Mark Spitz's mind, and I don't know how much more Foreman wants to fight, and I don't know what their reasons are. But for Kurt Thomas, there's a reason of a need of fulfillment, something, at least if I give it my all now. With this body that I have and this talent that I have, if I don't try this now, I'm nuts.
He'd also be without an Olympic medal. In 1980, at the peak of his career, the U.S. boycotted the Moscow Olympics. It still haunts him.
Yes, there is that empty hole in my career where I didn't get to the Olympic Games and win a medal. And that's one of the reasons I'm back.
The world is my stage. The mic is my stage. I love what I'm doing for is the ancient dream.
But not only reason. Critics say money is near the top of the list. The A's were not good to Thomas. Divorced twice, an unsuccessful one-film movie career, bankruptcy. Thomas listed of $1 million in '86. He made money through endorsements and as a sportscaster, and he lost it. His back is being underwritten by a Chicago plastics company.
You know, his motives include that he's never made an Olympic team, there's a lot of financial things to benefit from coming back, and I think those two things combined is why he's back.
I think it's admirable of Kurt to try to be a gymnast at his age. I think it's good, but I don't think it's realistic.
Realistic or not, Thomas earned the right to be at these national championships. This month he finished second at a qualifying meet in Wisconsin. Nothing spectacular, certainly not the Thomas of old.
The message is for those skeptics that think that, you know, I can't do this. I think that when anyone tells me I can't do something, that's when I turn on. That's it.
He talks very confidently, arrogant, I would say.
Kirk was good for his time, but I don't think he's good enough for now.
I don't think that anyone really has taken it seriously yet. And I think once I make the national team, I think then I'll be taken more seriously.
He is arrogant, he is brash, he is talented, he is currently in 21st and still working on his comeback. You gotta love a guy who works against these odds.
And this event right here has come eons since Thomas performed in '77. He's in trouble right there. His body off balance. He was supposed to do a release, so opted to take it out. He's working very slowly at this point. There's an old Kurt Thomas trademark there. He's in big trouble, though, if he does not do a major release skill. This type of routine would have flown years ago, but not today. A tucked half-in, half-out dismount, and a big hop.
And listen to the crowd. They know who this guy is, even if he did not turn in the best performance on the high bar.
Well, gymnastics has come so far since Kurt competed his last time in 1979. This routine possibly would have scored okay.
There's his score, 8-5, 3 numbers that point out disaster for Kurt Thomas. Tim Daggett's watching our current leader, Chris Waller, getting set for his parallel bars routine. This gentleman has led the competition since the compulsory exercises and has not relinquished the lead. There's our second place man, Patrick Kirksey, watching but not listening to the sounds of gymnastics.
And this is where it all went wrong for Chris Waller last year at the national championships. His final event was parallel bars, and he gave it to John Roethlisberger on a skill coming up right here, this giant swing to a handstand. No problem today.
Waller is an amazing story. It was discovered that he had a congenital heart problem. The doctor said he would have to have open heart surgery or he'd be dead before he was 30 years old. Right when Tim Daggett and the rest of the Olympic team were winning the gold in 1984, Chris was in the hospital having his aorta replaced with one made out of Teflon. And a good routine there.
Beautiful exercise. Chris shows such a nice line throughout. Very smooth, very planned, and very thought out.
So a man who really is lucky to be alive, leading our competition here, waiting for his score from the 6 judges. 9.35. Ooh, extremely low, but he's still in the lead. Waller's score about as low as our defending champion John Roethlisberger is feeling right now. Roethlisberger may well have sucked himself right out of this meet. That's his dad on the left of your screen. And the two have been through a lot together. Let's take you back. Exactly 1 year ago, the two were in each other's arms as John spent his nationals on the winner's podium. And his proud dad had to reach up to wipe the tears of pride for his son. This year, the words from Dad are unkind, indeed.
It's so uncharacteristic. It's not you. It's just not you. I don't know why. You know, I can't.
It's just not you there. Fred Roethlisberger said it. His son has been living it. And this time, today, the tears are John's. When we spoke with him before the meet, he was so nervous he was visibly shaking. The pressure of defending your title.
Oh my God. Why is this happening?
Last year, this father-son team was unbeatable. Today, it has been a disaster.
I know, that's the question I keep asking.
There will be another day for John Roethlisberger, and there's another event right now. currently in 10th position. The defending champion is ready for his vault, Tim.
And you just feel at this point, God, I hope this kid catches a break. And he did right there. Great vault.
And he knows it.
Boy, back on track. Double twisting Sukahara, just a small hop on the landing.
9-8-0 for John Roethlisberger, his best score so far in this competition. You take a look at the standings after 4 rotations. Chris Waller still up top. Thomas back there in 22nd place. We'll be back after these words from your local 6-year-old Lance Ringnald, currently in 7th place, was as far back in this competition as 32nd and has been scratching and clawing his way toward the top. He needs to finish in the top 6 to go to the World Championships, and he's getting ever closer. Both of this guy's parents were just, they both competed in college.
And he'll get closer after this event. He is one of the best in the world on this event. Shared a gold medal at the Goodwill Games on high bar. He'll show us why right off the top here. Watch this release skill. A Kovacs over the bar. He's not done. 2 in a row right here. He's got it.
Ringnald is renowned for having an incredible videotape library of performances from all the best athletes in the sport. Studies them all the time.
Well, he doesn't need to study about this dismount. Double twisting, somersault, 2 flips, 2 twists, and just a small hop. Wow.
Ringnald loves it. The crowd loves it. High fives from Trent Dimas.
Watch this, Colts. 1.5 flips over the bar. Where is it? There it is. He's got it.
Is that the most dangerous release move you've ever seen?
And he follows it with 2 more right in a row. There's one, grabs it, right into the next one, a flyway with a half twist. Couldn't be more on.
Ringnald spending most of his time over the top of the bar today. A 9-9-0. 1/10 of away from perfection. Looks like Lance is going to the World Championships if he can hang on. Tom Schlesinger, 3rd entering this rotation. 25 years old, waiting for the floor exercise.
From a comeback story to a hang-on story, Tom Schlesinger trying to hang in there. Great mount, full in, back out.
He told us that he is a big Kurt Thomas fan, that he still uses gym bag that Kurt signed many years ago. He was also careful to tell us that Tim Daggett has also signed that bag. This looks like some Kurt Thomas work right there.
That is the Thomas Flair on the floor exercise. This skill, a press to a handstand, fulfills some requirements of strength and balance.
In case you hadn't guessed, there is no music in the men's floor exercise, unlike the women's.
Boy, this is about the best routine I've seen Tom do on the floor exercise. He told me he'll be dismounting with a full twisting double back as well. One of the few gymnasts in the competition to use this. Very difficult. He'll get bonus points back. It's a lot to get done at the end here. Full twisting double back. Whoa.
Oh, he steps out.
Gutsy move at the end, but I think that could cost him a medal.
Schlesinger will wait for his score. He and his brother were roughhousing on a trampoline when they both decided to become gymnasts. His brother is here working as a judge's assistant, but he won't be able to influence the score, of course.
The only visible error in the exercise. This is at the end. After 60 seconds of all-out work, just not enough energy, and takes that step back.
9-5-5. That score will indeed hurt Tom Schlesinger's standing. Thomas, here he is at 35 years old, currently 22nd. Again, qualified in a meet in Wisconsin to make it here.
Heavily taped right ankle. Is going to bother him here on the floor exercise. That skill right there, a 1.5 twisting 1 and 3, named after him. It's called a Thomas.
No, he's certainly in 2 seconds. Thomas has been a fan favorite here for obvious. He has not been a favorite among the other gymnasts. They've had some things to say about him quietly and in print. In GQ magazine, Patrick Kirksey was actually quoted as saying, Kurt Thomas is the Milli Vanilli of gymnastics. Kurt laughed that one off.
Boy, and this is quite interesting here, John. This is the same routine that he performed and won a medal with in 1979. Almost exact.
I guess the question is, will it be competitive here?
Well, 11 years down the road, and this is pretty much telling the whole Kurt Thomas story at this point. Yes, this flew in 1979. A double full dismount, it's not going to fly in 1991.
No matter, the crowd loves it. Kurt Thomas denied any chance of a medal back in the 1980 games when the USA boycotted. Again, trying for a comeback. It looks like a little pain there.
Nothing very eventful in that floor exercise routine. He just doesn't have the power he needs to get big skills done.
And reflected in that score, a 9.25. All right, so we're over on the high bar now, and this is Trent Dimas, currently 11th, looking to make it into the top 6 for the world team. He desperately needs the funds that he would be awarded so he can continue to train. And remember Trent Dimas' story. He had that awful accident on the vault, came back and scored a 9.8 after revaulting.
And how would you like to have to do something like this after that fall? Kovacs, whoa! He does it as well as anybody. He'll do 2 releases as Lance. Tkachev, and he's off the bar. Just not enough rotation off of the bar on that release skill.
Let's take a look at it.
Here's his first release. Kovacs, done perfect. He follows it up with 2 releases, a reverse heck, right into a Ginger. Doesn't hold on quite long enough and just barely misses the bar. Look at, he gets his hands on the bar but can't get his fingers to hold on.
Now he has 20 seconds to remount. So we take a look at the fall again.
Look at, oh, so close. Just about an inch away, I'd say.
So now how much will this cost him in the score?
Well, they take off 5/10 just for the fall, and that's him totally out of this competition. He will not be in Indianapolis on our world team. One more major skill. It's a triple back somersault. Great dismount. But it's a little bit too little, too late.
Trent's girlfriend there, Shauna Hicks, been through a lot with Trent. Had to witness that awful fall on the vaults. The two of them have been supporting each other as Trent continues his gymnastics training. He told us yesterday when we spoke with him that if he did not finish in the top 6, make the world team, that he would not have enough money to train full-time and have to find a part-time job or a sponsor. His score 9.35 does take him out of any chances of being in the top 6. Chris Waller, our leader, is next. Waller, our current leader, continues to hang on to first place. Ready for the high bar.
The major story here is Chris Waller, of course, has to perform in the final stretch. He hasn't in the past. Watch this one-arm sequence here. He'll gain some speed. 2 full turns on one arm. He'll show us his release combination. A little bit close to the bar on that one. Second release series. He opted to take a release skill out of his routine as well. I don't know if that's the strategy I'd be using at this point. Just a little too conservative, maybe. His dismount, the first time we've seen today. Double twisting double in the tuck position. Little too much rotation. Has to take that hop back.
In case you missed it earlier, Chris Waller is competing with a Teflon aorta. The effects of his open heart surgery still linger, he says. He sometimes experiences severe pain in his shoulder.
This release skill, you'll see here, he's too close to the bar. Have to crank the next giant around just to keep his momentum going.
9.65. Still ensures right now that Chris Waller, our leader. Chris's teammate at UCLA, Chainey Umphrey, currently in 4th, has had a chance to see Chris, and now he will compete on the high bar.
And he is on fire. Chris, of course, opening the door just a little bit. A slightly conservative routine. Chainey can capitalize on it right here. He does one of the biggest release combinations in the world. 3 in a row. There's one. He got them all.
Umphrey is regarded as having the most arm strength of most any gymnast here today.
He certainly can muscle through when a problem arises. No problems thus far. Full twisting double somersault, just a small hop. That's a big routine.
And a much more aggressive routine than our current leader, Chris Waller's.
Let's take a look at these releases on the high bar. He'll do 3 in a row. There's 1, all done with legs together. This makes it even more difficult. 2, pulls on that bar 1 more time.
Score for Chainey Umphrey, a 9.80, a great score, and that can move him as high as 2nd place, depending on the next performance by Kirksey, who is set on the floor exercise.
And he has no pushover on this event. Very powerful. Watch this. He doesn't even grab his knees on this. Makes it look ever so easy. Double back to an immediate punch front. Landed a little bit short, but covered up very well.
23-year-old Kirksey, the tallest male on the national team at 5 foot 10 inch tall, which makes it extremely difficult to get around for those double backward somersaults.
A little bit of a rep part here. He'll press to a handstand, fulfilling some of the requirements on the floor exercise. He'll also show a 1-leg balance here, which is a requirement. Everyone must do this at some point in the exercise. This is a great set so far. He just has to land his dismount, and he's right in there. Double back.
Oh, little step there. So now he may have left the door open for Chainey Umphrey's score to put Chainey up there in 2nd place.
Boy, it is close, and certainly did open the door himself. A great exercise.
9.45 for Kirksey. So as we do the math, he has in fact pulled Chainey Umphrey up there to 2nd place with him. 0.3 of a point separate Umphrey and Kirksey from our leader, Chris Waller. Don't go away. Our current leader plays it conservatively, while everybody else pulls out all the stops trying to catch him. And one of the men in 2nd place, Patrick Kirksey, tied with Chainey Umphrey, getting ready for his pommel horse routine.
Now, most gymnasts would shake to think about finishing a competition like this on the pommel horse. This is one of Patrick's best events.
At 23 years old, he's never won all-around medal in the national championships.
He is all over this horse. Shows a tremendous variety of skills. That, of course, will gain him some points from the judges.
Kirksey trying to shake Umphrey while going after Waller and trying not to fall into 3rd place at the same time.
Very strong exercise so far. Just the dismount. Whoa, that's right in there.
Patrick Kirksey, that's his final event. He has completed 6. Now he has only to sit and wait. See what happens from this man, Chris Waller, focusing on his floor exercise. Kirksey, a 9.60, a respectable score, but still iffy as to whether or not it's going to keep him in 2nd place. Here's Waller.
Chris is on the floor exercise. Remember at the top of the show we talked about vaulting being one of his weakest events. Well, here's another leg event, and this is not Chris's strong point. Pretty good full in mount though, just a small hop. No major problem. 1.5 twisting, 1 and 3. Did that quite well. This actually going very well for Chris. Some nice, whoa. He ran into problems right there. That's going to certainly hurt him. At least a couple of tenths right there. Pretty ironic, John, because that is Chris's strong point. The flares and the balance part on the hands. These are the things that he capitalizes on. They're the things he doesn't worry about.
We should mention here that Chris Waller has been a favorite among the young girls here in Cincinnati. By the way, his brother, Rolf, was a member of the U.S. ski team. Another one was a gymnast at North Illinois University.
Long competition. He needs to finish with some power here. It's a double back somersault. Little bit over on that and a big step back. Oh, this is going to be close.
It's about as close a national championship, a top 3, as we've ever seen. And Waller is contributing to that.
Boy, this is so ironic because Chris, obviously, he's not that powerful in the leg area. But like I said, he capitalizes on on the flare skills. Here's his mount, full twisting double back somersault. The area he usually has a problem with, he does fine. Now on the flares, where he usually shines, he runs into some problems. You'll notice he hits his leg here on the ground. The knees bend, and every time they bend, it's a deduction.
So Chris Waller's final 9.25. This is going to be too close. Get out your nails, folks, and start biting them, because if Chainey Umphrey scores a 9.65 on the floor exercise, he will take the gold medal away from Chris Waller.
Oh, you're wild.
His coach, Yefim Furman, adding his sentiments after that floor exercise routine, knowing that Chris Waller certainly opened the door for his fellow teammate.
Umphrey is tied for second with Patrick Kirksey. I saw the graphic. He needs a 9.65.
And Chainey certainly has the stuff it takes to get that 9.65 accomplished. He'll do one of the most difficult routines of the competition. Double layout.
Chainey gets his first name from his great-grandfather, who, the story goes, successfully fought off a mugger in an alley by picking up a chain and swinging it at the mugger. Great-granddad was nicknamed Chainey because of it, and Chainey Umphrey, the gymnast, was named after his great-grandfather. His name actually used to be his last name, Humphrey, with an H. Oh, there was a good one. His granddad didn't like the sound of it and wanted something different, so he changed it to Umphrey. Hence, Chainey Umphrey.
Well, Chainey would change nothing in this floor exercise routine so far. He is slashing his way through. One last moment to collect his thoughts. It's a big dismount. Full twisting double back somersault. If he sticks, he's our national champion. Oh! Big hop on the landing. Once again, we keep seeing these athletes open the door for each other.
He won. Maybe he won. Okay.
Waller thinks he won.
Okay. What? 6 times. What can I do? There's nothing here. I forgot.
These guys, of course, friends, but they are so competitive. They train every day together. But both of them want to be national champions. Flawless exercise, and so difficult up to here. His full twisting double back somersault takes it back just a little bit, and that huge slide back and a couple little steps afterwards.
The judges are driving us crazy. They have not come up with the score yet.
Well, this is a controversial exercise here. They're deciding the fate of our national champion here.
Well, as the judges conference and effectively decide the national champion, we'll take a break. Exercise 9.60 misses by 4/100ths of a point. Chris Waller's score.
Waller, congratulations. I just saw you go. What a breath of relief.
Yeah, definitely. I still don't know whether or not I won. I mean, my coach told me that I probably did, but I'm not going to react until I hear it for sure. So I'm really happy about the way things were. Just the last bit was a bit shaky, but the nerves started getting to me a bit right there at the end. I'm happy.
By 4/100ths of a point.
So I did win. All right.
Okay, from excitement to a little bit of disappointment, let's talk about the floor exercise, because that almost took you out of this championship position.
Right. I think the nerves just got to me a bit. I wasn't concentrating on performing my skills like I usually do. And I don't know. Since we're going so fast by that time, I don't know what else to say, really.
Congratulations again.
I love that. Chris Waller didn't know he had won until Randy Hall told him. Waller, the gold medalist, Chainey Umphrey, Patrick Kirksey tied for second. Here's Randy now with Kurt Thomas.
Kurt Thomas, I know you're feeling a mixture of emotions, pride for having gotten through this event, and a little bit of disappointment because you didn't do quite well enough.
A little disappointment, yeah, because I had a pretty good regional coming in, and if I would have done the same job that I did in regionals, I would have made the national team. So that's a little disappointing. I kind of beat myself in this competition in the sense that I missed high bar and I missed vaulting. The injury hurt me a little bit, but all in all, I'm very happy with the way things went out, and I'm back, basically back. There's nothing that's going to stop me. We're going to drill it again in February, and I'll try to get back on this national team.
And good luck to you, Kurt Thomas. Stay with us. The women are